Here is how you actually grow an account on TikTok, from somebody that's done this in 3 different niches to several 100,000 followers. Now, those that are familiar with me will know that this is a bit of a different kind of topic than I would usually cover, but it's one that I'm quite passionate about, and I think it's interesting, and I see a lot of misinformation out there, so I thought we'd go through it. So the first thing I want you to ask yourself is, why do you want to do this in the first place? Is the goal becoming an influencer? Is the goal making a good amount of money? Is the goal just to get some views? Because that will change how you go about doing this. A lot of the standard advice of use trending sounds, make sure that your videos are short, snappy, and engaging, follow the trends, might not apply to whatever niche it is that you want to build your brand within. For example, my original thing was fitness. I can hardly start doing dance trends in fitness. It doesn't work. So here are a few things that I think are actually going to be helpful for you. First things first, understand that TikTok, especially TikTok, is a platform where quantity is almost as important as quality, if not more so. From day one, from the very beginning, when my sole goal was grow the account, I would make 5 to 10 videos every single day. Now, I know that's going to sound like a lot, but here's the thing. If you want something to be a job, you've got to treat it like one as best as you are able. I was kind of lucky in that I started during lockdown, so we weren't exactly going anywhere anyway, so I had a lot of time to commit to it. But in the beginning, when I had nothing and was trying to grow from zero, I would spend all day, every day, doing what I could to grow. So here's the few things that I did, and how you could potentially apply them to whatever niche you are in. First of all, I would go to people that are doing what I was doing, but already successful, because success always leaves clues. And then what I would do is I would scroll down to their older videos and go to their comments, and I would reply to any comments that I felt like were applicable. So for example, me in the fitness niche, if people were asking fitness-based questions and I was able to help them because I was a personal trainer, I would reply to those comments. Now granted, this got me blocked by a few of the larger people, who I eventually outgrew, by the way. The way that I went about it to not be spammy and annoying was, again, going back to their older videos, going to the bottom of the comments and answering questions that were never going to be answered. And what would happen is that if I did that to, say, 10 different people, maybe 3 of them might come and follow me. And then what would happen is, the ability to reply to a comment with a video is incredibly powerful, because then you are able to create a content churn. And now, churn is basically just how you continually do things, right? So for example, it is incredibly difficult to keep trying to come up with an idea out of nothing. But if somebody then asks you a question on a video and you can then reply to that with a video, that is then renewable video. Yeah, it's churn. So somebody would comment to me, I would reply back. That video then might get 3 more comments that I can then make 3 more videos to. And you see how this keeps snowballing. So again, the quantity versus quality thing. Here's what I want you to do. Get to a level of quality that is good enough for the platform that you are on, for the content that you are creating. You don't have to have a fancy camera or a fancy microphone. My best performing videos on TikTok come straight out of my phone and always have. The number one thing that is going to determine your quality, something that people don't realize, is how confidently you speak to camera. I have seen so many people who, the videos that they make, if they were to say things in a more engaging way, would be excellent. It would. But because of the way they say it, and the speed and the pace at which they speak, they're never going to grow, and they never have, and it's been years. And that brings me on to my next topic. Speak on camera, regardless of what niche you're in. So if we talk again about one of my niches, fitness, people would often think that to grow in fitness, you got to have the best physique, you need to be in the gym, you need to be showing your training footage. I probably had more than 100,000 followers in fitness before I ever showed a video of me in the gym. Anyone that's ever followed me has never done so because of how I looked. That would be silly. And here's the reality of this situation, right? If your goal is to become an influencer, and I keep throwing that up because I don't really like the word, people have got to like you for who you are, not necessarily just what you do or how you look, especially how you look. And this is something that people really struggle to get to grips with, because what happens is that people get really successful for short periods of time because of how they look. But the problem with that is there is always somebody that's going to look better than you, and it's not going to be forever as well. For you to look your best, you might struggle. Let me let you in on a little fitness industry secret here. There are plenty of people that will get in fitness in photo shoot level condition, right? And then what they will do is they'll have a whole year's worth of content filmed during a couple of weeks when they're at their best. And then they don't look like that for the rest of the year, but you never find that out because the way the content is drip fed out to you. So again, don't assume that you're going to be incredibly successful just because of how good at whatever you're doing you are. If you can't speak on camera and get people to like you through the words that you use and the way you come across, you're really going to struggle here, regardless of your niche. So for example, me in the gaming niche, people don't follow me in the gaming niche because of how good at games I am. They don't. They follow me because I can talk. Talking has always been my thing. So the 2 tips so far, the most important 2 so far, talk on camera and get good at it, except that for a while, you're not going to be very good at it because it takes a long time. I've been doing this for years now, and if I look back at my first video, trust me, I don't speak the way that I'm speaking now. Number 2, the quantity thing. Get as good as you can and then do a lot of it, because you never know when a video is going to blow up. I remember the first time I ever had a video do like more than 100,000 views. I was at Tesco at the time because I still worked there, and I would refresh my phone and I'd be gaining like 100 followers every couple of minutes. It was insane. Now granted, because that was 2020 and 2021, it was easier back then, but it's still possible now, just as I still grow accounts now. In total, I think I've got 6 accounts. 3 of them are in the multi-hundred thousands, and a couple of the other ones are above like 10 to 15 to 20k each. Let's talk about some things that people might say as advice that I truly don't believe are that important. People will talk about posting times. Realistically, your videos are not shown linearly or chronologically to people on TikTok. They're not. So for example, on my gaming account where I do whole playthroughs of games, when I first started that, I didn't think it would do very well because like part 33 might be shown to you before part 1 was, which makes it difficult to follow along, right? A video that you post now might not even get any views until tomorrow. You can never really predict this. Not until you've got a certain amount of followers. There comes a point where once you are consistently getting views, you can tell within the first hour or so of a video being up how it's going to perform. So again, back to the quantity thing. I figured out pretty early on that I could probably post about every 20 minutes and it not really have any negative impact into how the video will perform. After 20 minutes, it seems like you can do the next one. So again, that's tip number 3. I mentioned it earlier on. Treat it like it's a job. And it might be a job that you don't get paid for a while. But the biggest tip of them all, realistically, right, is that you need to not quit. The only way to guarantee that you don't succeed is by quitting. There are people that are going to try and sell you a course. There are people that are going to try and get you to hire them to teach you tricks and hacks and how to beat the algorithm and things like that. And when it comes to the long term, when it comes to actually like becoming a brand and being successful over time, none of that matters. What works is simple, and what's simple is repetitive, and you're going to need to do a lot of it. Again, I say treat it like a job, right? I don't think there is a job on this planet that isn't at least a little bit repetitive. You probably do the same 5 to 10 things, depending on whatever job it is you have, day in, day out, no matter how difficult those hard things might be. TikTok especially is very prone to that snowball effect where once things start rolling, it picks up really small and then it blows up. We see this time and time again. So make your first video. Keep making videos. While you're getting no comments, go reply to other people on other people's comments. Engage with people. Be active. When people comment in your stuff, engage with them. The number one thing when it comes to getting views that all of these platforms actually care about is just your watch time percentage. Your goal is to keep people in a video for as long as you possibly can. Within that first 5 seconds, you'll typically lose about 50% of the people that will see your video, no matter how good at this you are. Your goal is to keep people for as long as possible. That then increases the amount of views you are likely to get. And next up, this is a really simple tip, but people often overlook it. Call to action, a CTA. In the majority of the videos that I've ever done, I say click the follow button. People moan about me doing that sometimes, but here's the reality of that. It works. Because of the way these algorithms work, right? You'll be shown someone's video a ton of times before you usually decide to follow. And often people don't even realize they don't follow you yet. Some of the people that follow me, or have watched my videos for years anyway, don't follow me. And I know this because I can see when I click on their comments. I'm like, I recognize that name, click on it. Still don't follow me. But they get shown my videos anyway. And that's the reality of TikTok and a lot of these platforms, is that the amount of subscribers, followers, and things like that you have really doesn't actually have that much bearing on the amount of views that you are capable of getting. There are people with 1,000 followers that get 10 times the views of somebody with 100,000 followers. There are people with 1 million followers that get less views than the guy with 10,000. This is just how the platform works. Realistically, that number of the amount of followers you've got is a bit of an ego metric. That's all it is. You don't get paid based on that. You get paid based on views. And that is the other thing. If your goal is to get paid through TikTok, and I mean directly TikTok, not through sponsorships or being able to sell a product off the back of it, which, let's be real, is where the real money is. If you want to get paid just from your views, your videos have got to be above 60 seconds so that you can get into something called the TikTok Creativity Program. But we'll probably talk about that in another video. So make sure that your videos are at least that long, because what happens is, and this is a mistake I've seen people make a million times, is they will join the creativity program after they hit the 10,000 follower requirement to get into it. And then they'll start making videos that are longer to, get paid from them. But the problem there is that the content that built them to that 10,000 followers in the first place was really short. So the people that see their videos won't engage with their newer, longer videos for long enough for that video to then be pushed out to more people and get a lot of views. If somebody watches 5 seconds of a 10-second long video, that's 50%. If somebody watches 5 seconds of a 100-second long video, that's 5%. Which video is going to perform better? The shorter one. However, the short one doesn't get you paid. So if you go from one to another, you then are not going to get as many views. And that is the mistake a lot of people make. Some people say that joining the creativity program killed their views. It didn't. You just changed your content style and are not getting the views that you did before because of that. But yeah, I said nothing revolutionary in this video, and I might have bored some of you because we're over 10 minutes in, but I hope that this was at least somewhat helpful, because I know there are a lot of people that ask me for advice on how to grow their stuff pretty frequently. I'm posting this on my fitness account, so it's again a little bit out of the ordinary for what I would normally do, but maybe somebody would be interested in me talking about it more. If you guys haven't already, do subscribe. And again, just keep the simple stuff up. Make enjoyable enough content to a high enough quality, then rinse quantity while engaging with the people that engage with you, because your goal is to get as many eyes on the video for as long as possible. Every point of engagement is another way that TikTok then says, this video good, push it to more people, even when that engagement is negative. Take my gaming accounts, for example. I've been playing Call of Duty for the last 2 weeks and saying a lot of negative things about it because the algorithm does not care whether your engagement is positive or not. If I say something bad about Call of Duty, I know that I will then get maybe 20 to 30 hate comments about it from people that, by the way, would never have followed me in the first place. But that engagement then gets the video pushed out to more people who do like what they see, because you can never please everybody. That is one thing that you will learn if you do this for long enough, that it doesn't matter how good of a person you are, how nice you are, or any of that, there will always be people who don't like you, so trying to appeal to everybody is always a bad idea. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you later.